Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to MRL Action. We are here for, well, the Battle of Baku. It's time for Tier 4 racing. My name is Shrifium, coming at you here live from Canada, and I am solo for the moment. We may just have Unicorn join later. However, if we don't, I will be solo for the entirety of the campaign, which is absolutely fine. I love Baku, and I don't know many people who don't love Baku, and I may be saying that with a hint of sarcasm, just because I know some of the drivers dread it around here. It is a very technical circuit, as you can see. 20 turns, as I say, of intensity, 6 kilometers the circuit here. A lot of 90-degree turns, especially through Sector 1, and we'll take you through a lap of this interesting circuit in just a few moments as we get underway. But we are here now for the 8th round of contention. We have now crossed the halfway threshold, and we are here for round 8 ahead of Hungary next week. Following that, we have Singapore for round 10, and then a break week before France, Spain, Austria, the penultimate round of Mexico, and then, of course, the finale for round 15 in Brazil. But enough about what's coming. Let's talk about what's happening today. The standings. Polypunk, 91 points right now. He is leading Grenade Garan 5 points ahead. Oh, it is a tight championship, especially when you look at the lead. Daz, he was leading this championship for a moment, and now he has, of course, a few drivers to contend with. He has 77 points right now. He's dropped just a little bit back. Trick Sam, 70 points. Man, are things tight in this Tier 4 division, and you absolutely love to see it. Ferrari, 135 points, of course, following suit with Polypunk, leading this Constructors' Championship. You have Haas there, 110 points for the second place team, and then you have Alfa Romeo there following in third, and it is really a carbon copy of the Constructors of the top 3 drivers in the championship. What a championship it is at that. Now, with that said, we are just about ready to go racing. We're going to take a look in the lobby, make sure everything is good to go as I am solo. May be a slight moment before we get into the racing action, so just bear with me, and we'll be into 18 minutes of qualifying and, well, a very serious campaign of 26 laps here around Baku. Alrighty, we are just getting things readied up in a moment's time. Holding off for Mr. Super Noodle Bagel to select his vehicle. There we have it, so now everyone can ready up. And we are going to jump into a very intense matchup here around Baku, and I absolutely love this circuit. It's a serious racing circuit when you look at how it's structured. It's a street circuit, and not a lot of room for error here in Baku. When I say not a lot of room, I mean almost no room for error. It's tight. It is very tight, and I think Daniel Ricciardo once explained it like driving inside of a cage. You have to have 100% concentration, especially if you're fighting, especially if you're on the rear of a racer. Ooh. This is going to be a spicy campaign, to say the least, because we have a dynamic qualifying session here. Intermediate compound tires are out, ladies and gentlemen. 19 drivers on the grid today. I'm going to tell you why we only have 19 drivers on the grid today. We have a Williams driver serving a race ban today. That will be Lars, following the campaign in Silverstone. So Blind will be flying solo for the Williams squad. Of course, taking you through the grid, 18 minutes to get underway here. We have Kene Gishvan over for McLaren. It is four-door sedan for Alpine. Tatsis for Ferrari. Undertaker over at Alfa Romeo with Jones in for Mercedes. Once again mentioning Blind at Williams. It's Baza. Haas. Alberto Perez in the Aston Martin with Big Turbina for Red Bull today. Fabry Flame, of course, Aston Martin. And we have Mr. XTXP, hashtag Striftgang, representing in the Alpine. Thanks for that. Trick Sam in the McLaren. Alexander Zhu over at Red Bull. We have Super Noodle Bagel for AlphaTauri. Polypunk in Ferrari. Disaster for Alfa Romeo. Grenade Garan in the Haas coming out through turn 2. And he will be the first driver to get onto the circuit on the intermediate compound tires. With IDJ over in the AlphaTauri and MVP Kieran rounding out the 19 racers on the grid, as Mr. Lars, of course, mentioning he is serving that race ban for Williams. Grenade Garan, a very capable driver. The Swedish driver has been on the podium multiple times this season, and he will be looking to score once again to potentially dethrone the championship leader of Polypunk. And I know Disaster will be looking to strike back even harder to potentially move in between the pair of them. So we'll have to see how things unfold. We're coming through out of turn 7 in Baku, and this is where things can get tricky, coming up through the castle section. And from what I understand in the practice races that have been held thus far throughout the divisions, the castle section, well, it isn't famous for anything. It's famous for some very variable incidents that come through. We'll have to see how the practice rumors unfold into today's race, but 19 racers on the grid today. It is a fantastic turnout here for Baku Racing. Doesn't look like we have any with the faint of heart. We just have one actual reserve on grid today. That is Baza over at Haas. And it's great to see Baza filling in today. Alrighty, now this is where things can get real tricky. Coming out of turn 2, pushing on a flyer, the first representative flyer of the session, Grenade Garan, coming down the straight section of Sector 1 into turn 3. A little bit of a lockup on the front left. Coming through turn 3 into turn 4. A lot of 90-degree turns. You have turn 1, 2, 3, 4, realistically 5 and 6, as well as 7, all 90-degree turns here in Baku. Pushing out of turn 6 into turn 7 now. Ooh, dancing all over that inside curbing. Now coming through Castle and pushing on the lap, but of course not as hard as you'd like given the slick conditions and given the fact that you don't want to run deep into that wall. Pushing up through now 13. Turn 14 and then into turn 15, the left-hander. This is where we will now cross into the split. Out of turn 15, into turn 16, into sector 3. This will be the first lap of the evening on these tires. Big shout out to Waffleorian coming in with the 6 months tier 1 sub, and of course everybody tuning into the stream. We greatly appreciate the support as Grenade Garan flies now through turn 20. Pushing down to give us a look at what a lap around here will be. 52.177, the first run on the intermediates, and we'll just have to see if any drivers decide to chain runs. Next through the line, I do believe it will be Polypunk. He goes for provisional pole, a 51.741, improving over Grenade. And if the rain, well, there is always the question of whether or not the rain is here to stay in this qualifying session. They do have 18 minutes to play for. We're about a third of the way through already, 12.5 minutes remaining, as Alexander Junau will push through a 50.9, a very quick time in comparison to Polypunk, as Tatsis wasn't able to match his teammate. You can see Big Turbina now slotting through in fourth, the partnering Red Bull. Things getting very spicy already as times come across the board. Tatsis a 53.241. Kane pushing through sector 3. The other McLaren of Trick Sam will cross the line first, and he's getting a somewhat of a tow out of Super Noodle Bagel. Whether the Alpha Tauri is aware or not, unclear. But Trick Sam, 51.699. That's front row for the moment as well. It's the other McLaren of Kane, 51.429. Solid run. 9 drivers already with times on the board. It was Jones who actually went behind Tatsis, a 53.383. Alberto Perez now 10th driver to get a time across, 53.583. 2/10 shy of where the Mercedes landed in 9th. Undertaker 52.885. Kieran came across, as did Baza. Disaster P12 53.638. Blind on an outlap. He's in the Williams. We have DJ on the move. Coming out of turn 4. In through 5 and 6, trying to hug that inside. It's really touchy in these slick and wet conditions. Intermediate compound tires is something we're familiar with given the Formula 1 Grand Prix in Turkey yesterday. Big Turbina, 51.238 on the rear of his teammate. At present, it is a Red Bull front row lockout. The Alpina 4-door sedan, 51.644. DJ finding his exit out of turn 12 through 13 now. Into turn 15, the left-hander. A little bit of a snap there on the steering. I don't think DJ is going to bring this across the line, actually. He might have already had an issue, and I think it looks like he's angling into the pit lane, and he is. Blind on the move in the Williams. Looking to get a solid time on the board. Only 4 drivers without times on the board here. As things stand, our top 5, we have Alexander, Big Turbina, Kane, 4-door, and Trick Sam. Bit of a lift there, unless my ears deceive me. I wasn't looking at telemetry, but a bit of an issue coming there through the right-hander in these slick conditions, and a bit of a tow coming out of that Ferrari. Let's see now. P11 coming out of Blind in the Williams, and although Lars isn't here this evening, Blind doing what he can to get himself into some good position as Baza draws a yellow flag out of turn 3. Unclear as to why. No visible damage on that Haas. Fabry Flame on an outlap in the Aston Martin, one of 3 drivers yet to set times here in that club. With him, XTXP and IDJ, who we just saw recently come into the pit lane. Kane, excuse me, jumps Big Turbina And you can see multiple laps are being chained on these tires. DRS has been enabled, and we very well may see this session get to a point where the dries become effective. Current separation in the grid from first down to, well, 6th position, shy of 1 second, as Fabry has an issue going deep through turn 3. Looking for traffic coming behind him. That'll be Grenade. Softs being selected among drivers in the pit lane. However, the rain, as we saw, it was still just trickling down in Sector 1, but it does not seem to be the case through Sector 2. Grenade Grant, we saw him as the first racer to push through on a flyer in this session, now on a lap coming out through turn 12. Turn 15. You can hear the left-hand side. You can just hear the squeal of the tires trying to come to a stop. And again, as we push through turn 16. Here's we have a retirement, and that is in the castle section, unless I am losing my mind, and that is the Red Bull of Alexander Jew. We have excuse me, an Alpine 4-door sedan, and there he is. Ooh, that's not good. 4-door might have just cost himself something. That is tough. Grenade Garand, of course, notably went P4 there. That was an interesting situation. Nobody yet flying on the soft compound tires. Tatsis and 4-door will be the first to do so. Alberto Perez on the move, as is Undertaker. However, I do believe Undertaker on an in-lap. Had some issue here through the castle section. Alexander Jew, 50.9, a very solid run over Kane right now. However, you can see the softs being selected, and if that is the case, he is at major threat of losing that, well, that provisional pole position. Shout out to Mr. Wafflorian in the chat, saying the same. And, well, no rain coming down right now, 4.5 minutes remaining. It does certainly seem like the case will be softs, and you can see Alberto Perez struggling through turn 15. This is not going to help him improve even remotely. Let's jump with, I'm going to say it, 4-door sedan. He has a major improvement in hand through sector 1. And if that improvement holds through sector 2 and so forth, 4-door sedan will be our provisional pole sitter here. Out of turn 15 now. Let's see the split into 16. Coming to the line here, it's going to be 5.987. Alexander Jew, wave bye-bye. 4-door sedan is the new sheriff, because look at the time that he is going to bring through here in this Alpine. To the line, 44.454, and it's only going to improve for this grid from there. Tatsis up next in the Ferrari, pushing with the rear wing wide open into the pit lane. Not feeling it, and I don't think that's a good choice. I don't know why he did that. Four-door sedan, really in a good position right now. Super Noodle Bagel, 54.729 is what he is looking to improve upon on the soft compound tires compared to what we just saw four-door do. That should be child's play. Through turn 13. Now through 14 into 15. Here we come now to the line. Super Noodle Bagel pushing. And there it is, 42.025 out of the Alpha Tauri, and everyone needs to take their chance at this now. Kieran, Baza, they're on the move. Kieran, however, on an invalidation. The Haas has a unique opportunity. Baza here in reserve. Out of 15. See what he'll carry into sector 3 here. It is a massive improvement. Real shootout right now for pole position here as the track continues to evolve and improve. Let's take a look at where Baza lands things. He was minus 10 up, and here we go. 42.980. He actually does not manage to come through ahead of Super Noodle Bagel. Undertaker F on the move. Polypunk on the medium compound tires, notably also pushing. Battery Flame has just begun. Polypunk will be the first between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo to come through, and he is coming through Castle section right now. Super Noodle Bagel, 41.543. He actually continues to improve. He further positions himself into a solid provisional pole setting, and I do believe the checkered flag has been drawn now just after he crossed that line. We'll have to see what people are able to do now. It is the final opportunity. Here comes Polypunk. He will be looking to start with a major improvement. There could very well be an element of desync at the moment, but here it is out of Polypunk, a 140. Ladies and gentlemen, 007 on the medium compound tires. Undertaker, 40.075 in the Alfa Romeo. Not quite able to undo Polypunk's time. Polypunk showing himself a cut above at the moment. Wow. Battery Flame, no improvement, nothing coming out of the Aston Martin camp. This is horrible for him as he was not able to get a time through. And you can see now Baza on the way in. Jones pushing. What does the Mercedes have? To the line. He goes quickest. It's a 39.600 now for provisional pole position. Who is next up? We have a variety of racers coming through as Alberto Perez will be next to take his shot in this shootout. What does he have in the Aston Martin? He goes fourth quickest here. Grenade Garan, he comes through into second. It's the front row for him provisionally. Trick Sam on the rear of Disaster. Disaster goes 6th. What does Trick Sam have? He goes for pole. A 38.767 from Trick Sam. Wow. Tatsis goes 3rd. Man, oh man, is this a shootout and a half. Things ever improving here, but Trick Sam in the McLaren really pushing just shy, well, of 9/10 of a second over on Jones. I don't think at this stage anyone has an answer for this. Super Noodle Bagel is not flying, and I think that, ladies and gentlemen, will draw the curtain to this qualifying session. Wow, 38.767 coming out of the McLaren. Trick Sam, what a time. Jones, 39.600, and it's Tatsis at 39.755 to round out our top 3 here as we come into the classification. That was a very interesting qualifying session, no doubt. A lot of McLaren fans going to be happy about Trick Sam right now, as we're just waiting for the cars to come into the pit lane and get dialed into the garage. Alrighty. There we have it. Once again, the classification. Fastest driver of the evening here in qualifying, Trick Sam in the McLaren at 38.767. What a lap. Jones, the Welshman, of course, the Mercedes at 39.600, and it is 0.833 the gap between him and Trick Sam on that front row. Meanwhile, you have Tatsis in Ferrari, 39.755. Grenade Garan, 4th. DJ in 5th. What a grid lineup we have here. We're going to go down through the whole thing on the formation lap. But you absolutely love to see the dynamic come through with the rain in the qualifying session. Only 18 minutes to navigate things, and this is how things got sorted after that 18-minute session. What an interesting race. Polypunk in an interesting position there. Mediums starting 6th position here in Baku. Mediums, well, they're a solid tire here around the streets of Baku. And Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 8 MRL racing action about to get underway. And of course, everybody, thank you for joining us in the chat. My name is Stryfium here from Canada. If you're new, hit that follow button. Big shout out to our great partners, Fytron, exclamation Fytron. Do us a favor, hit up the link in the chat and check them out on their site. It's a great, of course, software engine builder tool. And we absolutely love to see real automotive companies coming into the virtual space to support league racing. Now with that, 30 seconds counting down. Very excited to see the clear weather here. Hear that countdown. You can hear the beeps, and you can hear a little bit of a commentator in the background on the loudspeaker. Here we go. Formation. Welcome to the jungle. We are ready to go. Trick Sam on pole, ladies and gentlemen. Jones in 2nd. Tatsis is in 3rd. Grenade Garan in 4th. Hopefully we don't have any major connectivity issues as we come through here in Baku this evening. Trick Sam, Jones, Tatsis, 1, 2, 3. Grenade Garan in 4th. DJ in 5th for Alpha Tower. We have Polypunk starting in 6th position, notably on the medium compound tires. Undertaker in 7th for Alfa Romeo. Alberto Perez in 8th. It's Blind in 9th with Disaster in 10th. Of course, out of the top 10, everybody on the softs minus our current Ferrari driver here on the mediums. We move to Mr. XTXP starting 11th position. He is on the mediums. He begins the run of medium runners in the back end of this grid. Through down 11, 12. We have Kane, Super Noodle Bagel in 13th, and Baza in 14th. It's 4-door sedan for Alpine in 15th position with Alexander Ju and Big Turbina 16 and 17. One thing to note, at one point in that qualifying session, it was Alexander and Big Turbina provisionally 1-2 on the front row. Now you can see them starting 16, 17, that is really how much of a shakeup we saw with the weather conditions and the evolution of the circuit. We've got Kieran in 18th. We've got Fabry Flame in 19th. Well, it's going to be a serious shit-out for position here off the line for Fabry. You can see he's on the softs, which is a major gamble. A very large gamble here, starting at the back of a grid. Trick Sam, Jones, the front row. It's going to be an absolute battle between these two off the line to see who has the better run into turn 1. And, of course, turn 3 even more so, because there's a much larger run into turn 3. Very well see a change of leadership. Now, we want to see a clean turn 1. All of these drivers now will begin weaving as we come through Sector 3. Get some temperature into those tires. They're going to need some temperature in their brakes here, of course, as we come into a very interesting, intricate, technical Sector 1. A lot of 90-degree turns, and well, already Tatsis having issues here with the warming of his tires. He won't have any more issues with the warmth of those tires. He has had to spin that car around twice now here on formation lap, and I think Super Noodle Bagel might have been collected by one of those donuts. All right. Trick Sam, of course, pole sitter here for this one. Shout out to the McLaren fans. It's going to be a serious run for him versus the Mercedes, and it's the Ferrari on the rear of them coming through into turn 1. My, oh my, get ready. It's the Battle of Baku. This is the first of 6 rounds here for the MRL this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Azerbaijan. The lights are out, the engines are revving, and it's time to go racing. How's the launch off the line? Trick Sam has a great one. Jones not so much, as Tatsis is already looking around the outside into turn 1. How's this is... Oh, wow. Grenade holds it for the moment. A little bit of exchanging. There's a big contact for Polypunk, and I'm not sure what's caused it, but also Tatsis. Oh my, Grenade Garan holding off Tatsis there. Polypunk dropping down this grid, notably. Baza, Kieran. What a race start. What a race start. That is not what you want to see there. Fabry Flame, 14th position already. He started in 19th. Things so tight here in this midfield. We're going to move a little bit further up as Undertaker is showing very tight with Blind. A little bit of separation up at the front. Now we've got an even bigger issue. Through down the back. Disaster looking the wrong way. No visible damage. Unclear as to what happened. Super Noodle Bagel clearing him. Well, it's a long race, 26 laps here in Baku. It's a long lap around. Big Turbina clearing through on Polypunk. Polypunk an easy target right now. No front wing on the Ferrari, and that is just not where you want to land yourself now, as he's had an issue through turn 15. Who's that into the rear of him? That is Alexander Ju, and that is a VSC deployment. Who's this coming through now? Super Noodle Bagel, and I'd be shocked to see that. There it is. Safety car has been deployed on lap 1 of contention here in Baku. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Polypunk, our championship leader here in the Tier 4 division, out of this race. Trick Sam, Grenade Garan, IDJ. Your top 3 here. What a dynamic race start, to say the least. Let's take a look at position changes. We have a ton of pit stops coming through as well. Undertaker, Super Noodle, Baza, Disaster, and Alexander all into the pit lane. Massive drops here. We can see also Blind, Jones, Tatsis all took trips into the pit lane here early on. Predictions in the chat, of course. Let us know what you think for safety cars. This is a VSC / safety car split. We saw the VSC deployed first for the issue with Polypunk and Alexander coming out of turn 15. Then it was, as we say, upgraded or escalated to a full safety car deployment here in Baku on the first lap of contention. I'm going to take you through to a statistic. It was in 2 seasons consecutive, seasons 2 and 3. We saw 4 safety cars deployed here for the Tier 2 racing division. I wonder if we are going to repeat history today. Big shout out to Freer. Thank you very much for the 16 months of support. Tier 1. Absolutely massive, and greatly appreciate that. And everybody viewing along in the stream and in the chat, big up the support. Well, this will be a blessing in disguise for one man, and that is Disaster. Of course, he had a very, very unfortunate race start being collected through in the opening lap in Sector 2. And now this will give him an affordability to catch up to the grid. Now we are behind safety car. The Mercedes is on display today. We've seen the Aston Martin recently as we did our endurance race through on Saturday in Suzuka. Already on the 3rd lap, of course, we will not have DRS until 3 laps after the safety car has decided to come in, and we are going to be seeing that safety car come in more than likely at the end of the 4th lap, if I had to guess. Considering this will be the first full lap we get behind it. We'll be back to green flag racing by my estimation on the 5th lap of contention out of 26. Azerbaijan, known for, well, being a tight circuit. Polypunk pushing into that wall. It shows us just that. Everybody that had to pit is going to be very happy that they're able to catch up to this grid, of course. And they're in a decent position. The majority of this grid has not pit. Pretty tight. Close. But the majority has not pit. So you could very well see such a strategical change in this racing lineup. These soft runners are going to be more exposed than anyone. But one thing I do bring to the attention of everybody viewing along is that safety cars here in Baku have a good chance, we'll say chance, to potentially create scenarios for more safety cars. Alrighty. Lap 4 under safety car conditions here. One driver out. Polypunk, our championship leader, no less. This is very, very serious pickings now for Trixam, our race leader and pole sitter, Grenade Garan, and well, of course, Disaster, albeit he didn't have the most ideal race start. He is a stop ahead of the front end of this grid. He could very well get himself into a striking position. He's got 77 points as things stand in this championship. Safety car on the way in. Trixam getting some temperature into his tires, slowing down this grid. He is controlling the pace. A lot trickier to find temperature in the harder compounds. Of course, the mediums not going to be as easy to get that temp. And it does look like we are away racing here. Trixam pushing. Grenade Garan holding him with a decent distance. Right now, DJ under threat. Alberto Perez into turn 1, looking but not pulling the trigger. And that is going to expose him from behind around the outside. XTXP. What a move coming out of the Alpine, and that's some heads-up driving as we have a little bit of contact through turn 2 right now. Alberto Perez under threat. Kene on the inside. We come through into turn 3. Ooh, Kene pushing Alberto. It's mediums versus softs, and of course Kene getting the position neatly as Turbina and Tatsis. There's a lunge coming out of the Red Bull. It looked like there was a bit of a tap, and well, what happened there is Tatsis. Oh man, these guys are not giving each other any breathing space on this safety car restart, even remotely. We come out of turn 6 right now. Jones wheel to wheel with 4-door sedan into turn 7. 4-door's got that inside line. It's going to be tricky coming through into Castle. Blind has the front row seat. Jones has the front row. Oh, a little bit of a clip off the curbing there. Jones goes round, creates a concertina. Undertaker, it looked like he went into the rear blind. That is Alexander Zhu around, and that is front left end plate damage. What a safety car restart. And I imagine a lot of these drivers that had second chances now not going to be too happy that they've unfortunately, well, made some mistakes or had some issues. Trixam holding Grenade half a second. DJ 1 second the gap, and well, XTXP a little bit of separation. However, he's on the mediums in a fantastic racing position. Trixam 43.714, fastest lap of the campaign as things stand. This is the first full now green flag racing lap, knock wood, since we have begun. Grenade Garan around the outside, pushing down the long straight into turn 3, taking leadership of this race. He is the runner-up in this championship right now, and as things stand, he's in a position to take lead of this championship away from Polypunk, of course, considering the championship leader is out of the race. Fabry on the rear of Kieran. We push out of turn 7. It's a Mercedes separating both Aston Martins. A bit of a swerve and a slip coming through Castle section now could very well expose Fabry to the medium runner, the more fresh medium runner of Tatsis behind. Tatsis really having an up and down race tonight. We saw him struggle in the formation lap. That wasn't very good to get his confidence going. He does look primed for a potential overtake, though, with these fresher tires. Utilizing a touch of battery there. Train in effect on the rear of Alberto Perez. Kieran looking for an opportunity to the inside as we come into turn 1. Alberto, does he hold later around the outside? He's trying to. It's tight. He's on the softs. Alberto Perez defending well. Kieran not relenting. On the inside as we come through turn 2, Kieran just in front. Tatsis on the rear. Fabry with the front row seats. There is Kieran in front of Alberto Perez now. There's Tatsis on the inside of the other Aston Martin. That is a car around, four-door sedan. There's contact. He's been hit. And who is that? Undertaker. It looked like he went into the front of him. Big Turbina now, and the Aston Martin around the outside for Big Turbina. Fabry Flame narrowly holding that door shut. What a race. We've been seeing some tight battles here. Tier 4 division, ladies and gentlemen, never failing to impress and provide some major entertainment and intense excitement. Alberto Perez, a graze of the wall, coming out of 15. Tatsis picked up on it surely. Tatsis in a major striking position right now for a potential race win, and I say this, of course, considering he is... Oh, Kieran has spun around. That is not good at all. He is going again, and I have to say, there's so many drivers that just push through. They're fortunate that they did not come into contact. Alberto Perez coming into the pit lane now. DJ has spun, coming out of turn 1. This is going to be tricky. He's going to have to watch some drivers push through here. Is there an opening for him to get things spun back around? Yes, there is. The car's behind him now into the pit lane, and he will fall to 11th position indefinitely, and that is not where you want to find yourself after being in such a solid position where DJ was. Alexander, a 41.853, doing what he can to recover in this race with the fastest lap of the campaign now. Fabry Flame on these soft compound tires with Jones behind him. Well, it's not going to be a very good situation for him in a moment's time, as Jones will be looking to clear some of these older tires. Tatsis right now, he certainly is doing what he can to navigate and push through and provide himself a gap. Speaking of gaps, we're going to go on with XTXP trying to hold tight with Trick Sam. It could be now that the soft's starting to really betray the racers. The Alpine charging. Not a lot of battery utilization. Just a straight up power move here. Tires. Well, it's the tires. Grenade in. XTXP, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag Schriftgang leading the race. He's having the drive of the night. He's having a heck of a drive. Up 10 positions. Kane as well. Now we have Fabry Flame under threat from Blind. Alexander, Jew, and Kieran fighting. Kane right now pushing on XTXP, and I have to say this is... Oh, well, that's not good. I think Kane just had a major issue coming through this section. It looked like he slipped. Lost some time there to XTXP. Slipstream here on the straight out of turn 20 is so powerful, however. Kane knows he has a good opportunity to really make up this gap. Fabry as well, of course, under threat from Blind, heavily exposed. Fresher tires for Blind. The longer form tires for Blind. Disaster in waiting for position here. A lot of drivers yet to pit. Well, a lot of drivers have pit. Only four, excuse me, as I find my... Oh, no! That is not what you want to see in the commentator's booth at all. Not sure if that was desync or if that was just kind of spin and slide. I don't know, but they are both in. Disaster. Was he caught up in this? He must have been. Oh my. That is not good. He is not he is having a horrid race today, and you hate. Yeah, his wing is being changed. My. Still, only one retirement. We were on lap 10 of 26. Kane leading this race over XTXP. And I imagine I wasn't able to catch that due to that contact we were following along with, but I imagine Kane and XTXP having an exchange through turn 1, if not through sector 1. Big train right now in formation on the rear of Kieran, the soft runner, Fabry Flame and Blind. Well, that's a rivalry that I have to say that after what happened in Sector 3, we want to pay attention to just see how they carry on. Jones and Tatsis. Here we go. A charge out of the Mercedes looking for 4th position. A drag race between the two, but DRS, the drag reduction system paying off. See Trick Sam looking for Grenade. Dropping on the rear. Now Super Noodle Bagel. What's happened to him? An issue coming out of turn 16. Front left end plate missing. Here comes Blind. Wheel to wheel with Fabry now. Fabry around the outside holding position. They don't want to fight too long. They could lose to Kieran. Fabry looking at Kieran, thinks better of it. There has been an issue in Castle section. This is not good. That is XTXP, and this is a major bottleneck now. He is trying to get things back going, and there is a huge holdup here. Trick Sam in yellow flag conditions drives into the rear of Grenade Garan. Well, that is unfortunate. XTXP, Trick Sam tight to the rear of him now. Any damage on that car will surely impede his run through here, and this could be bad. XTXP, I do believe, will be coming in. If not, he will not have damage. Staying out, holding position. Grenade Duran pushing to the inside, trying to hold with Trick Sam. Nice. Neat move there from Grenade. XTXP not fighting that hard at the moment. Fabry Flame, Blind, Disaster ahead of Blind, in through on turn 1 on the inside. Blind holding around the outside. There is space. It's wheel to wheel. Fabry Flame, the front row seat. Disaster getting through in front. A slight tap coming out of the Aston Martin. A little bit of a bump and go. Maybe the DRS is going to give him that opportunity. It's wheel to wheel now. Disaster flying away. DJ looking on just a little bit behind as Fabry holds Blind to the inside now. Blind around the outside, getting back 12th position. Slight connection error there for Kieran. You can see a bit of a rubber band coming out of him in through 7. He nearly went into the front end of this Alfa Romeo. Disaster gonna be skipping a beat seeing that on board. Oh no, there's an Alfa Romeo round, and that is Disaster, and his race has been quite something. Around the outside, Fabry Flame, DJ through 13 and 14. Fabry Flame, does DJ have damage? He's lost not one, but two positions there. Undertaker got it done as well into 15. Grenade and Trick Sam exchange once again. 16.286 the gap right now between these drivers and the runners ahead on the longer form strategies. XTXP looking for a way through on the inside of Alberto Perez. Alberto Perez a little bit later on the brakes, holding around the outside. The Aston Martin, good tires right now, finding some solid traction. XTXP not going down without a fight. Alberto Perez, however, still there in 7th position ahead of the Alpine.
Hello, XTXP suffering there with a little bit of the tire wear with those mediums, right, Strifium?
Most definitely. Good day, Mr. Biddo.
Ooh, a little bit shaky there on the entry on Baku section on that castle. Really, really easy to smash the wall, but he managed to keep it outside of that one. Still losing time with Alberto Perez right now. The Aston Martin really flying with those new mediums.
Yeah, the new medium's really helping him out right now. And of course, the gap right now in front of him with Trick Sam and Grenade, if they continue to fight, it could very well come into his favor.
Meanwhile, Undertaker still really, really close to Kieran. Not that much around that DRS window. We'll see if he has it on the main straight. Doesn't seem like he is gonna be closing soon, as Kieran is on those softs. So we'll see, because behind we have a train is IDJ, sorry, Fairy Flame and Blind. We're gonna fight, and Fairy Flame will be overtaken probably on this main straight, opening DRS, the slipstream with the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin on the inside on the main straight. Easy as you like, now putting the car just fully ahead on the braking point for turn 1.
Very nice move there. Imagine that. Biddo starts commentating, Fabry starts driving faster, and we have him taking DJ in through turn 2, of course, as well, holding it. The DRS, however, for DJ, I don't think it's going to be enough to hold Fabry to take any kind of switchback opportunity. We're going to move out to the front. Trick Sam and Grenade, they're still tight. Blind on the rear of DJ. This could be an opportunity for the Williams as well.
Surely, Blind still with fresh mediums, fresher than Eyes, but still looking there, the front left and the run into turn 6. Not the best you can do there, but it's not an overtaking spot, so he's still keeping it tight behind IDJ, who just cuts a little bit of that inside curve on turn 7 as they enter that section. Really dangerous, of course, as we know. Blind going a little bit wide on turn 10. And losing time, probably even dropping on that DRS zone.
Undertaker, oh my, there's a little bit of contact. Him and Kieran fighting through turn 13 and 14, Alex. It was Undertaker looking for a way through on the inside. And I've been there before. That is one of the most difficult areas to push your way through. It's a very, very risky opportunity. We're going to move to Alexander Jew on the rear of XTXP now. XTXP positioning that car in a defensive position to hold off this Red Bull now. 13, soon to be 14 laps for XTXP. Alexander Jew into 8th position, recovering in this race after an unfortunate
Undertaker
start.
As well doing the same job as Alexander now in the main straight. Disaster and Blind exchanging as well. Blind doesn't seem like he had DRS to defend that move as he dropped from IDJ. And now dropping another places behind Disaster on 14th place on that Alfa Romeo.
You can see the position changes in this race have been massive all across the field. So many drivers losing out, so many drivers gaining big. Kane, big Turbina. Such strategies coming out of them. They have yet to stop in this race.
Kieran. Massive oversteer, and Fabrifin will try it on the inside because Kieran did a massive mistake on those offs. Seems like he's struggling. Sorry to interrupt there, Srifium, but the action was there on turn 4 as Kieran dropped one place, Fabrifin jumping 1.
Yeah, it was a very good opportunistic move there to get it done. Fabry now 11th position. The softs could be very well starting to hurt Kieran a little bit, especially through sectors 1 and 2. Oh, they are really hurting him. DJ looking for a way through as Kieran slips and slides through the castle section. On the exit, out of turn 12. DJ on the inside is going to find the exit in the 12th position. A very nice move. Kieran continuing to struggle now with Disaster on the rear of him. We see the pit stop come out of Jones in front. Disaster, a slide on the exit out of 15, giving Blind, who's in 15th position, an opportunity to come around the outside. The Williams not able to get it done. Wow.
As well, a little bit of breathing room there for Kieran, who was struggling a lot, and now just look at the high downforce section. He loses a lot, and now with the DRS open for Disaster, as I think Kieran will be jumping into the pits. Those softs are really struggling with the grip right now, and of course jumping into a new set that I think will be a set of mediums. Jones after the pit rejoining on P6.
So many battles unfolding on circuit right now. You have Trick Sam with Grenade. You've got Disaster, Blind, 4-door in formation on the rear of DJ. And here goes Disaster now for 12th position. DRS wide open on the rear. A very clean-cut move from him into 12th position. But he's bashed the wall, Alex.
He did indeed. He lost the braking point. He went wide. Probably he didn't expect the loss of grip there. Or probably the overspeed of the DRS. That's normally a thing. And now Disaster, I don't think he has damage. I don't think so, but
DJ out of turn 6, Alex. It looked like he just spun it. He looked like he just cooked the rears. No, that is not what you want to be doing. He's trying to get things rejoined back on circuit now.
He lost it indeed on traction following that Alfa Romeo, and IDJ with damage now. Will be dropping a couple of places and probably even another pit stop for him. Probably dropping in to 18th place. Big Turbina, meanwhile, pitting for new softs, ready to attack now at the final stage of this race. He will be rejoining just ahead of Grenade Goran, or probably just tied.
They might
it
fight.
Seems like the Red Bull is ahead.
They might fight a bit here, coming through into turn 3 with the temperature on these mediums. Big Turbina comes out of the pit lane deep, Alex. He's lost not 1 but 2 positions. Looking on the front end right now to see if there's damage through turn 2. He's weaving in disappointment, and that is a mistake that might have just cost him a podium, Alex.
I don't think it's disappointing. I think he's trying to warm up those fronts. 77 degrees were the temperatures on those tires. Those softs not turning at turn 2. And he literally understeered into the wall, losing 2 places as well. Thank God he doesn't have damage, or at least not visual damage, so no major for the Red Bull that needed a very good comeback from now. 10 laps to go. I don't think those softs can go to the end, as we saw Kieran struggling. Oh, who's that? It's Trixam into the wall in the castle section. The McLaren without any portion of that front wing. And he will be dropping, of course, places. Big Turbina was affected on that one, and Grenade Goran extending that gap after that incident.
Jones looking very narrowly through on the inside, getting that position as well. So Big Turbina 4th, Jones in 5th now, as Trixam has difficulty navigating turn 15. Wow, that is unfortunate to find yourself, Trixam, in that position with no front wing. Now Alexander Jew on the rear of Alberto Perez. We have a yellow flag, and that is... Oh no, the Alpine bringing up a yellow through 2 and 3 for the sectors. He's been disqualified for going the wrong way. Not what you want to see at all. He was having a very, very good drive, pushing, defending with what he could. Long form strategy. Oh, that is such a disappointment coming out of him.
Really bad luck. We know that this can happen, but when you try to be clean, the game sometimes doesn't like it. Even if you're trying your best, X6P disqualified of this race. Very, very unlucky for the French driver.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate after he was having such a race today. Alberto Perez with Alexander Jew. Disaster and Fabry Flame now exchanging, as it is 8-9 for the Alfa Romeos. Fabry, no answer for this at the moment.
Disaster with a penalty. Right now, 3 seconds. I'll say that's multiple corner cut extending, or just gaining time with the track limits, I would say. So Fabry Flame and a potentially P9 probably right now with that Aston Martin. Double points for them. So it's very good to see that. As we have as well, Jones still trying to close or keep that gap with the Red Bull of Victor Urbina, with the subs flying. But as I said before, that incident of Trixam, I think those subs that we saw on Kiran probably are not able to make the distance.
A little bit of lag coming out of our friend Mr. Bido there. I'm not sure what was the cause of that. It seems to be back going. But I agree with you. I don't know if the distance is going to be able to come through there. Doesn't look like it at all.
Doesn't it?
Maybe turn 3.
Yeah, but Jones is still closing. That DRS really helping him. Can I just rejoining the track after that pit stop with fresher tires than Victor Urbina, both on softs. So he will try to push now. At the end of this race, is 7 laps to go.
That's his 16 lap old medium, 6 seconds the gap between him and Grenade Garan right now as this battle unfolds behind Big Turbina, Jones, Kane. Very fresh tires, put down some serious fighting for the final stint of this race. Rick Sam on the rear blind.
We have the exchange. Blind with damage on the front end. And with the yellow flags parking there in sector 1. So I think kind of issue there for the Williams of blind after probably contact with the wall.
A little bit of an Bido's connection. I'm not sure what's causing it, but Kane hunting down Jones right now for this 4th position. Softs versus mediums, not a lot in it for Jones here to hold off. He does have that DRS, and Kane, I think, could open things up for both as he hunts down Big Turbina. Just within 1 second of Grenade there.
I hope it's good now.
I think so.
Okay, so let's try. Exchange, of course, because Blind is dropping there after that pit stop, putting new softs. And of course, trying to go to the end after not the best race that he has had here. Dropping probably another place with Baza. But yes, that fight for the podium is really, really on fire. Not only for the podium, but as well Victor Urbina now catching Grenade Goran.
Turbina. Oh, he's under big threat here. He's under big threat here if he does not keep the DRS.
I think he's gonna do it. Just a little bit tight there. Yeah, it's 0.8, so he will have it, but Kane is very close.
Yeah, it might not be enough here. The McLaren now, does he flick to the inside? He's looking for it. The squeeze coming out of the Red Bull just ever so slightly. Does he have enough overspeed to carry in take 2? Oh, is it ever tight right now between these two? Of course, Kane getting that 3rd position. Grenade under huge threat from Kane now.
Trixam and Fiery Flame having contact on the main straight. It seems like they moved at the same time to one direction. I don't know if there's damage, but now exchange on the leaders because Kanai is overtaking Grenade Goran.
Oh,
but
no!
Big
Turbina went around. He's spun now. That is not good at all. And that is a Red Bull around his teammate now. Alexander Zhu passing him by. Oh, my, oh, my.
Very, very bad news for the Red Bull squad because Big Turbina now losing another place with Alberto Perez. Seems like he has damage probably on that front end. Surely he needs to have something because he smacked that wall at least a couple of times. Now losing another place, as we said, 7th place for him.
That's a tough position to find yourself in, no doubt. And right now, Tatsis, 18 lap old mediums. Look at this, Alex. He's a sitting duck.
This battle is gonna really be good, but those 18 laps of medium is gonna cost a lot for that Ferrari. But he's trying to go to the end, and it's a very bad strategy, but still seems like it's working. If he can keep at least Grenade Goran behind, just Kane flying. He's not even defending that one because he knows, look at that one, setting the fastest lap, the McLaren, and he jumps into P1 with fresher softs.
That was a very big gap, narrowed extraordinarily quick by a tire differential, to say the least. Of course, we looked at the rear wing of Tatsis exiting pretty well out of turn 18, and you can just see Kane barreling down the straight, taking that position with ease.
Grenade Goran, 3 seconds away from that P2. 7 laps of tire wear difference between the Ferrari and the Haas. We'll see if he can catch him, but it's still very difficult to close that one. Even more with Jones behind, keeping that pressure on. I think Grenade Goran is more focused on his back there rather than on that Ferrari. So we'll see if Grenade Goran can keep it, but Jones only with 5 lap old mediums.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Grenade here. I think Jones in a good striking position. Big Turbina holding some distance with Alberto Perez in that 7th position, looking like he could push an overtake in a moment's time.
He smashed the wall there, I think. Doesn't have damage, but at least he brushed it a little bit with that right end plate, that front end plate. Meanwhile, Jones really close now on the last corner. He has the DRS, he has the slipstream, more battery as well for the Mercedes. Dumping into the inside line, there goes Jones to take the podium for Mercedes. Grenade Goran losing that place, nothing that he was able to do.
Turbina, Alberto Perez now, they have their exchange. Alberto Perez trying to hold Turbina tight to the wall. Turbina breezing by into 6th position.
Seems like the damage was not there for the Red Bull, even though those contacts with the wall were kind of severe on turn 3. But still, good luck to keep the car damage free. Now taking some places, but it seems like that could be the last one for him tonight, as the next driver is his teammate. 9 seconds of difference and 3.5 laps to go for him.
A little bit of separation forming all throughout the grid right now, but of course Tatsis and Jones, that gap breaking down. Tatsis under threat in a major way.
Not only from Jones, but from Grenade Goran. 3 seconds was the gap between Grenade Goran and Tatsis 2 laps ago. But now Jones has dragged Grenade Goran to the Ferrari. So probably Grenade Goran still an option for a podium today. But still he needs to take that place of Tatsis, as Tatsis having a really bad exit out of the high downforce section. Now he'll be victim of that overtake from the Mercedes, a little bit squeezing that rival, but there goes Jones, another place in another lap, and Jones goes to P2. Wow, look, Tatsis is spun because he was drifting turn 1.
That is
the
not
tire
good.
wear is so high that he was not able to keep that car straight on that corner.
Alexander Zhu pushing through into 4th position as a result as well. Kane, Jones, Grenade, your top 3 here.
Really really difficult situation for the Ferrari there that he was trying to hold with everything he could. And now after that spin, if he had the tires overheated now, probably even more difficult to keep that car straight on the tarmac. Still, he has a big gap behind him to manage, but he got turn 7. Let's see if that's a penalty or not. Blind retiring on the pits. But Sats is really, really struggling if you see his onboard.
Those tires are going to be absolutely worn to their limits at the moment. And I fear we may see a puncture come out of them. And in the chat bringing that up. Fabry Flame, that's in Castle section. Too late for a safety car. But four-door sedan now, more than likely gonna get a view. Yes, he is. And is it enough to slow him down a touch? Ooh, he gets by.
Kieran doesn't. I think he lost the front wing.
Yeah, I think he got.
Not sure about that.
I heard something, but I don't know.
He's safe. He's safe. Sector 1 with yellow flag. As we have the AI offline as well. Retiring on turn 3. But still, 3 laps to go as the leader crossed that lap. Sector 1 still for them. Kinda just controlling that pace as Undertaker overtakes the other Aston Martin, sorry.
Well, Alberto Perez with a disconnection here. Quick Sam navigating through on the inside of turn 2. We are on the penultimate lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen. It's very unfortunate to see Alberto Perez with a disconnection.
He's not even online. It seems like it's a big drop for him. So we'll see, because he has 23 seconds still behind to keep that point, but he was on P7. He was doing an amazing job, but Aston Martin just dropping from the points on these last laps. Very unfortunate for them. And Trixam is flying. Right now, he has that penalty of 3 seconds. New softs behind Undertaker. We'll see if he can take that overtake on track at least. That's what drivers normally want to do. To have a little bit more of fun, but Undertaker understeering into the wall.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like damage on the front wing though.
Kane right now leading this race. That behind him, I do believe Super Noodle Bagel has now been lapped in this race, and Jones 5.8 seconds on the rear.
Das Aster and Big Turbina. Big Turbina going 1 on turn 1, and Das Aster takes that place with old mediums. Taking 6th place, but he has a penalty on his name, so I don't think that will be enough to take that place.
Disaster has done so much climbing in this race, and as you say, Turbina around the outside to get the move back.
It seemed like a mistake from the Red Bull on turn 1 going wide, correcting to not hit the wall. So Disaster took that one, but of course another DRS zone that we have between turn 2 and turn 3. That gave that Red Bull a little bit of advantage, even with those softs, as Alberto Perez resumes the session, probably to keep that point.
Well, Kane now coming through turn 16, leading ahead of Jones. Grenade Garan in 3rd. It was Trick Sam in the McLaren that started on pole position here in this race. So it was a McLaren that started in 1st, but it is not the same car that will come through to take the checkered flag here in Baku. It's Kane. With the race win, Jones will cross in 2nd position behind him in the Mercedes. And it will be Grenade Garan, the Swedish racer here, to finish 3rd, with Alexander Jouve closely behind in 4th. What a race finish. Tatsis coming through in 5th.
Really good job for him as well. He was suffering a lot those last laps. He lost a lot of time with that 24 laps of mediums. Victor Turbina is just behind him. Das Aster taking that penalty. Takes still P7. Undertaker overtaking Trixam there with the penalty, I would say, as well. Alberto Pereira keeping that last point after the disconnection that he had on the last couple of laps. For the sedan, the first driver out of the points as Supernova Bagel and Glaza across the line already. Kieran not having the best luck today either, finishing on P12. IDJ, after being on very good positions, a mistake that cost him probably a couple of points. So the AlphaTauri will be now enter sector 3, and I think he has run out of fuel.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I think you're 100% right on that one. That is unfortunate for DJ, but it was such a stellar race from really so many of the racers on this grid today. DJ come through the final few turns of the circuit to bring it home. 4 drivers out of this one. It was Fabry, Blind, Polypunk with the retirements, and the DNFs, unfortunately, on the classification, and XTXP with the DSQ after trying to be safe and let some fast movers by after a spin. So that's unfortunate when you have that issue come through. Alrighty. That will be the end of Baku, the 8th round of MRL Tier 4 racing action, and it was Kene that took the race win. Alexander, driver of the day, awarded by the game for the most positions gained in this race. And I have to say, he did a good job of pushing from a rear grid position, as did his teammate Big Turbina, but it just wasn't the way he wanted things to go in the end. Big Turbina, and oh man, solid. Well, you know what? Big Turbina, 17th to 6th, never mind. Scratch that last. Kane, 12th to 1st. Jones, he started on the front row, he finishes in 2nd, and it was Grenade 4th to 3rd. Alexander, 16th to 4th. 3rd positions where Tatsis began, but such a long stint, it cost him in the end. He finishes in 5th, Big Turbina. 17th to 6th for Red Bull. We saw the Alfa Romeo of Disaster move up to 7th from 10th, and Alfa Romeo saw Undertaker from 7th to 8th, and then Trixam, pole position where he began, he still collects a couple of points, and Alberto Perez for Aston Martin, he started in 8th and he finishes with 1 point in 10th. Four-door Kieran, DJ, Super Noodle Bago, Baza with us for this one, and then we had Fabry Flame, Blind, Polypunk with the retirements, and of course XP with the SQ. What a race, Alex, what a race, and we're going to interviews in a few moments.
It was really, really good, at least the part I saw from lap 12, really, really entertaining, a lot of action. So we'll see what the drivers that are on the interview think.
Work to get some drivers in for an interview now. Available. Jones, Kane, and Grenade on the podium. Alright, never mind that. Alright, there we go. Joining us for an interview, Grenade Garan in the commentary booth with Bido and I, and well, that was a very, very wild campaign. We saw a safety car, we saw a major tire strategy differential, wild qualifying, but you managing to get yourself up into a podium position nonetheless. How are you feeling after this race in Baku?
Yeah, as always, I'm feeling sweaty and exhausted. But the most important was last Monday, Alexander told me he will beat me in Baku. And of course, he didn't. So that was my goal for today.
First things first, Alexander did not beat me today.
No.
I like that. I like that. That's gold right there. All right. So that's a good note to kick things off.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, safety car in this race, it really shook things up. Was there any issue with you in the safety car? We also saw couple of issues with drivers in Castle section. Was there any doubt from you today coming through third position in the end? It was a solid finish. How are you feeling about the race overall?
I think it was the Alpine driver XTXP that stand horizontal in Castle, so I couldn't pass him. And then the McLaren driver passed me instead. So yeah, but P3 at the end is it's good.
Well, a very thrilling race, of course. That was Baku. Next week, Hungary. How are you feeling for the race coming ahead for round 9?
Yeah, Hungary, I did some endurance series race and feeling pretty good. I think we was 4 drivers that complete the full race. But we will miss you in the stream, so it will be a sad day for the Tier 4 drivers.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Grenade, and thank you for taking the time to interview. And of course, well, I may see you again in the commentary booth soon. Grenade brought it up. I'm leaving my full-time position in commentary for European divisions, and I'll get more into that before we wrap things up. But Grenade, congratulations on a podium, and of course we'll be talking to you again through in the chats and seeing you with some spectacular racing coming ahead, and I wish you luck.
Yeah, same to you, and thanks for all the commentating.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
That was Grenade. Big shout out to Grenade, of course. He has been a stellar addition to the MRL, and what a podium from him today. We're going to jump in next with Mr. Jones. Jones coming in for Mercedes today. A lot of fans for Jones in the chat. Coming in hard with solid podium finish. Second position in a dynamic qualifying. You managed to come through, collect that second position finish. How are you feeling after Baku?
I really enjoyed that. Baku is not one of my favourite tracks. I struggle to finish. Quite often lose my wing or crash, but I'm quite surprised to finish where I finished, actually.
Well, you had one heck of a drive, safety car coming through. Was there any major concerns with you in safety car? There was big tire strategy differential that came out of that opening safety car. How did it feel for you when you saw that safety car come out?
I wasn't sure what to do. It was a bit early. I didn't really want to change off the softs, but I knew that the softs probably die after 5 or 6 laps, so I just took the gamble and thought I'll get onto the mediums. And just see how the race plays out. The mediums felt really good. The setup I was running, it felt better on the mediums than it did on the softs, to be honest. So safety car, yeah, I think it came out at a good time for me.
Well, it definitely worked out in your favor when you look at how the results are. Here, speaking with us, of course, second place finish from the front row. It had to be one heck of a drive through here in Baku. It's such a tough circuit, and as you mentioned, you're saying that you're surprised to have done as well as you did. How does doing this well in Baku set you up for Hungary coming ahead for round 9?
Yeah, I mean, if I could finish second in Baku, Hungary's another twisty track. I quite like Hungary, but yeah, just turn up, do the best I could do, and see where I finish. I've got no expectations. I need to keep chipping away at those points.
Well, fantastic race today, Jones. You really did navigate the field well and navigate all the circumstances that were thrown in to the mix well today. So congratulations to you and on your finish, and we'll see you for the next one next week in Hungary.
Thanks very much. See you next week.
There we go. That was Jones, everybody. And now we are going to take a moment and speak to our race winner. It is, well, Trick Sam started on pole position. Okay. But it was Kene that did the heavy lifting for McLaren today with the race win. Kene, how are you feeling after Baku?
Yeah, feeling awesome. But I first, actually, I need to say it's not Kene. I think it's pronounced as Janai, actually,
Janai.
but it's Kene is fine. Yeah.
Janai. Well, now I feel great.
Yeah, Janai. Yes, Janai.
Janai.
Yeah,
well,
in Turkish.
Well, Janai, I am so sorry for mispronouncing your name. All of these
No
races.
worries. I think Kene is cool too.
Well,
And second of all, I think I was believing to be a champion in this league, in this tier 4, but I wasn't able to show that until now. I don't know. From now on, I think it's the middle of the season race. It was. So from now on, I think we will just push for championship for McLaren and for myself, maybe.
Well, that is one
And-
heck of a statement. I love to hear that.
Yeah,
I love to hear
and
that.
I just want to thank so much thanks to my race engineer Brownie, and to my girlfriend for her pretty amazing support during the race, and your commentary as well.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for that, and thank you very much for that very much. And of course, now you with the big statement, a championship push. I imagine that means Hungary, big expectations next week, round 9. Are you looking for a win again?
Yeah, from now on, it's my only focus.
Well, that is a big statement indeed. Bido, anything for Kane after such a statement in this Tier 4 division?
Just congratulations, because you say like you're happy, and of course you are, because you won the Baku GP, and just enjoy it and see you next one.
Yeah, see you guys.
Thank you so much, Kane, and take care. That was a fantastic interview with Kane. I love the enthusiasm. I love the excitement. He says, I won the race. I want to be a champion. Bido, he comes through. He says, it's time, McLaren, and it's going to be an interesting round coming ahead through, of course, into Hungary. My, oh my, what a round here in Azerbaijan, though, to say the least, for round 8. What a grid, what a qualifying, and of course it was a wet to dry qualifying. But Alex, thank you for coming in and jumping in to commentate with me here halfway through the race. Greatly appreciate that. Of course, we've had a little bit of a shuffle in the commentary, some scheduling things coming through for Unicorn and myself and even Alex Bido, who's made it in today. And with that, I have to say to everybody, thank you so much for coming into the broadcast. Today is my last broadcast for the Tier 4 division in a full-time capacity. So it's not officially a goodbye, but in the full-time sense, it is, and it will be the last commentary for the European side of the racing in the MRL. So if anyone has any info or wants any more info on that, you can find a video in the poster clip section of the MRL. But with that said, Bido, that is going to round out our commentary coverage for the Tier 4 division today here with Baku. How are you feeling after that race? Any final statements before we sign things off and send things with a raid?
Baku never disappoints, and it won't happen either on America's Tier 2 today in a couple, well, not a couple of hours, but a lot more. But I think we're going to have an amazing race, and just happy to be here to watch it.
Well, there certainly was, and thank you so much for taking the time, and big shout out to all the drivers in the great race today. We are looking for commentators and broadcasters, and always looking for members of our team. So if you are interested in applying, you can find a tweet, or you can find the post in the Misfits Racing League Discord. And well, I will see you all for the Americas Tier 2 racing action later this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is 2 a.m. for those of you in the UK and 3 a.m. for those of you in Central Europe. But it is going to be a fantastic race. Tier 2 Americas. Baku is back. It is the Battle of Baku all week. And we will see you all in the next one.